Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I am really excited to chat with you all today about this topic. If you're like most of the people that I see coming into my office, you're probably really confused about how the food you're eating is connected to the maintenance of your health or even the prevention of certain diseases. Now, one of the most amazing things that I've seen while working with a wide variety of people who come to see me for a more natural approach to managing their condition is how impactful small, meaningful, yet consistent changes can modify how your body functions in a really short period of time. We're not talking about some fad diet here. We're talking about real improvements to the quality of your food intake. So for those of you that are new here, I'm Dr. Nelson, licensed practicing naturopathic physician and clinical nutrition professor. And today, I'm going to share with you a new way for you to look at food. So the question of the day, is food fuel or is it medicine? For the longest time, food was understood to be a source of energy or fuel for your cells in the form of macronutrients. Now, these macronutrients are categorized as fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, which are required for your body to function as well as repair itself. An important note here is that a major deficiency in any of these major categories may result in some serious health consequences. Most of the popular diets these days usually crown one macronutrient king or queen of the rest and recommend total elimination of the bad one. Now, I think by now that most people know that the bad one is actually carbohydrates, and that overconsumption of these carbs are just not the best idea for your health. But over the years, I've realized that most people, not even my medical colleagues, really understand the reason why. In order to understand that, we have to first acknowledge one thing, that our bodies are finely tuned for survival, and that almost everything that occurs, disease-wise in this case, is an adaptation that our bodies are using in order to increase our chances of survival. So when you eat more carbs than your body can handle at one point in time, your liver, through a series of biochemical reactions, turns this excess into a different form, something that it can store for later. In my office, I call that cookies and cupcakes. That's the cookies and cupcakes marker. And you can find this one on your cholesterol panel. Its real name is triglycerides. Now, the end destination of triglycerides is for it to be deposited on your fat cells. Usually this is done via cholesterol molecules. They're essentially shipping packages. So, contrary to popular belief, eating excess carbs not only makes you gain weight by growing your fat cells, but it will also cause a resultant increase in your cholesterol value. The crazy thing is that this is where most of the fad diets and the people who tell you to get rid of the big bad carbohydrates stop the conversation. And this is only a third of the problem. You see, the truth is that excess intake of all of the macronutrients, and I mean all, will result in biochemical pathways being activated in your liver, resulting in an increased production in triglycerides, ultimately leading to higher levels of cholesterol, and you guessed it, weight gain. Now, to complicate matters even more, there's another important component to food, and that's usually that foods are a rich source of micronutrients they contain. So things like vitamins, minerals, all of which are required for our bodies to work correctly. They usually play a direct role as little helpers to the many biochemical reactions that occur to keep us alive. So if you stop the video right here, you'd be asking yourself, so food is only fuel then, right, Doc? And this is where the idea of functional foods gets introduced, so to shake it up a little bit. You see, most people know them as superfoods, but the real reason these foods get the coveted title of super is not just because of their macro or micronutrient constituents. While having a great nutrient profile surely helps this situation, these foods gain their superpowers from other active compounds that they contain, like polyphenols and prebiotics, as well as essential fatty acids. These active ingredients have been scientifically proven to have a positive impact on your health and your well-being. So, having a well-balanced diet that contains a variety of whole foods will produce far more health benefits than following any given strict fad diet. This will provide the benefit of having the fuel component so that your cells and your tissues can run, and then having the food as medicine component for overall improvements in your health. Nutrient deficiencies are very common and can play a role in the progression of many diseases. So one of the questions that I received recently was about some deficiencies that might be associated with mental health issues. When talking about things like anxiety, ADHD, OCD, and other mental health concerns, a wide variety of vitamins as well as minerals like magnesium, vitamin D, and B complex may all be deficient. Individuals that are dealing with mental health conditions may also have a very unique vitamin and mineral demand, and usually this is due to genetic variations made possible through something called single nucleotide polymorphisms. For short, we just call these SNPs. But in reality, these things are just changes to enzymes that run the various biochemistry functions throughout our entire bodies. Most often, these changes will increase our individual nutrient demands in order to keep our systems running. So what that means is that someone without these SNP modifications, they may be able to run on a fraction of the dose of vitamins and minerals that someone who is affected with these SNPs and what they may actually need. But the vitamin and mineral conversation is not the only deficiency we have to be concerned about here when we're talking about mental health. We need amino acids, we need essential fatty acids, we need polyphenols, and prebiotics. These are all required for optimal mental health. Deficiencies in any of these components may result in disease progression and worsening health. I tell you, I could do an entire video on the gut-brain connection and how prebiotics can support mental health. If you want that, let me know down in the comments below, and if anyone's interested or a few people are interested, I'll definitely put together a video on this topic because there's a lot to discuss there. But the thing is that this doesn't even just apply to only mental health. We're talking about a wide host of chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cancer, and even autoimmune disease can all result and worsen from deficiencies in these vital food components. If you're enjoying the content so far, my prescription for you is to press that like button. Don't forget to pop that subscribe and bell icon to keep getting your weekly dose of natural advice. So what's the best information that I can provide? The best for you at this point is to place an emphasis on whole foods and eat the rainbow. And for those of you who are thinking about Skittles, I'm definitely not talking about Skittles. The rainbow here is in relation to fruits and vegetables. All of those different colors are linked to different polyphenol constituents and other active ingredients like fibers and fatty acids. This is more important than most people will ever realize. I'm going to explain why. You see, chronic inflammation is a risk factor for many health problems, including heart disease and cancer. You can see high levels of unchecked inflammation in conditions like autoimmune disease, obesity, and even prolonged stress. So cut back on the stress. In other words, inflammation is just another word that we use for immune activation. Now, inflammation is a tool that your immune system will use to deal with infections and other invaders, things trying to destroy your body. This tool, however, causes destruction to both the good and the bad tissue. So in the short term, that's pretty manageable by your body. But prolonged exposure to this level of inflammation usually results in some worsening health outcomes and chronic disease progression. The inflammation here is usually in the form of free radicals. This actually decreases our cells' ability to activate their normal antioxidant systems to deal with those free radicals. So this is where you want an increased intake of a diet rich in superfoods that's going to elevate the total amount of antioxidants in your body. And ultimately, these antioxidants are going to protect against cellular damage, which is going to help to slow disease progression that's often associated with these free radicals. Now, these superfoods will also decrease inflammation associated with disease progression as well. I've seen some studies that have shown how fish oil, which is a source of EPA, this is an omega-3 fatty acid, it's an anti-inflammatory one, can stabilize and even reverse, and I said reverse, plaque formation in the arteries. This is going to ultimately decrease the risk of having a stroke and a heart attack. It's amazing stuff. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you found this video useful and you want to see more videos about this topic, please leave a comment down below. I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Have a great day, and thanks for taking this journey with me. Take care.